Yo guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are back with the first episode of a brand new series all revolving around the brand newly released Marvel's Moon Knight. Of course, the first episode was released last night and we did go and watch that, and honestly, what an experience. Was it good? Was it bad? We'll get into that in a second. But before we do, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe if you are new, as we're on the road to 120 subs. That'd be absolutely insane. You guys have been killing it so far, and trust me, more content is on its way. But also, while you're down there smashing the like button as the absolute kings you are, let me know in the comments, did you manage to watch the first episode of Moon Knight? If so, what was your thoughts? Because I want to try and get a rough gauge of what people's thoughts are. Because from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it's very much 50-50. People either love it or they hate it. There's no in the middle. It's very much a Marmite show, and we'll get into all that stuff in a second. But without further ado, let's talk about the good parts first. So the good parts, of course, Stephen, played by Oscar Isaac. Absolutely a mental performance from actors. Him, of course. The whole cast was just absolutely phenomenal. Literally everyone from the main cast to the back men. It was honestly incredible. The cinematography, if I can speak. Sorry, it's early in the morning. The cinematography, absolutely phenomenal. The way they use the camera angles, which you'll see a lot in the actual show, like in the bus scene when it like pans across. The end scene when you actually see Mark Spector's Moon Knight actually beating down that little like gargoyle thing, whatever it was. The cinematography, the camera angles, all of it was absolutely perfection, and it draws you in. You wanted to know more, because this is a positive, but also one of like the negatives that I've heard a lot of people see about this show. The first episode had like next to no action whatsoever. Like, I think the only action it had was little scenes here or there, like a 45-minute show, 10 minutes max, and that's pushing it. But it kind of draws you in, because when there is those action scenes, it kind of like cuts, and then Stephen's gone, and Mark Spector pops in, and he kills them all with proper gruesome, proper bloody, all that stuff. But you don't see that, and it's kind of like we're watching from the eyes of Stephen. So we're just doing our thing, blackout. Mark does his thing, and then we wake up, and it's like, what have I done? Do you know what I mean? And it makes you think, how deep into this guy's life is it? Because you see him obviously going on that date, or trying to go on that date, but he knows nothing about this date. So it's like, is Mark taking over more of his life than he knows? But also, when you see him wake up from, sometimes he goes to sleep on the Thursday, wakes up on the Sunday, has no clue about it. Does Mark literally live this guy's life for him? And you noticed a lot of Mark calling Stephen the parasite. Is it a case of Stephen's actually coming to him? I'm going to assume it's Mark going into him, but it's some of these things that make you really, really think. Personally, I know it's not very actiony, and to be honest, in terms of the continuity, continuing from the old MCU stuff, it's not done a lot. There's no references to any old Marvel shows. Like, he was on about the likes of Hitler and all that, but he never mentioned, say, Thanos, which is interesting, because you would have thought, going on about the bad men in history, you got the Hitlers, you got all them lot. You would have thought maybe a Red Skull or Thanos, but that was not to be. So something like that makes me think, okay, maybe people might be like, right, this makes no difference to the MCU. This is just learning about a new character. I do not mind if I miss this. And that might make a lot of people like, okay, I don't need to watch that. We move on. It is what it is. But I generally think you should be watching this. It's very much supernatural, that type of stuff. But I do really enjoy it. Going on to the Stephen character himself, some weird things that you gotta think. Obviously, the sand around the bed. The goldfish, by the way, that is the star of the show. Pick up the goldfish, by the way. But the sand around the bed, of course. You got that bit of tape going along the door. I'm guessing that's so that if you were to leave the bed in your sleep, kind of sleepwalking. Obviously, we know it is Mark Spector coming out, but you will know, because the tape will be gone, the sand will be all moved about, and he's also like tapered his leg to the bed. However, as we saw in the dream, it don't matter, because he was dreaming, right? He was dreaming. He did the whole village thing, all that type of stuff. But then he wakes up, he's still in the exact same position, the tape's still there, the hook's still on, the sand's all there. But it's like 3 days later. So maybe Mark is actually smarter than he thinks. But listen, it's all mad. It is all mad. And like, I'm really intrigued for how this is going to go because we've not really seen any of Mark Spector himself. I do expect episode 2 to be massively on the Mark Spector. I get much Eddie Brock Venom vibes from it. I know people say Jekyll and Hyde, but I'm getting Eddie Brock and Venom, like the voice in your head. And then he went to Eminem and then Jesus. The voice in your head, obviously, like talking inside, like, oh, let me take control, blah, 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 we should do this, we should do that, let me do this, don't let go of the, obviously, the little beetle thing. So it's really interesting to see how that type of bond and relationship, how it will get better or how it'll get worse. I guess all time will tell. But that is my little breakdown, my thoughts of the first episode. In terms of what I thought of it, I loved it and I cannot wait for next Wednesday. I do assume next Wednesday to be a lot more Mark Spector, but listen, we have to wait and find out. Let me know your thoughts on it down below. I'll see you guys next time. Smash like and subscribe if you're new, and peace.